Welcome to Darkness Brewing and our launch of the Brew Crew Comedy Tour. Oh, you all have just been introduced to me, so you all know who I am. I'm Ricky Glore, but I don't know who all of you are. So on the count of 3, I would like everybody to say their name, okay? 1, 2, 3. It's nice to meet you. I lived in Chicago for 7 years, and during that period, the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup 3 times. The Cubs won the World Series once, and my car was broken into 8 times more than the Bears went to the Super Bowl. So 8 times. Turns out car alarms don't work. No one likes that annoying sound. I think it'd be a lot better if we had like a really cool 90s song to replace it. So it's late at night, someone's breaking into your car, and all of a sudden, you are my fire, my one desire, belief when I say, two people would be walking by and be like, oh my God, is that Backstreet Boys? I will help that car. I was born and raised in Kentucky, but whenever anybody asks me where I'm from, I say Cincinnati. It's not because I'm embarrassed to be from Kentucky, it's just if I'm asked and I ever answer truthfully, this is the response I always get. You're from Kentucky. Isn't that where the Creationist Museum is? And I have to say yes. Yes, it is. It wasn't there one day, and then bam! There it was the next. Just like out of thin air. Kentucky has the Creationist Museum, but Tennessee wants you to know that they've got churches. And they do this by their giant crosses. My wife and I were driving through Tennessee, and we saw the giant crosses, and they're not just like big crosses if you haven't seen them. They're like the size of skyscrapers. It's really jarring. I was cruising along, and then one of them took me by surprise, and I yelled, Jesus! Which is probably the appropriate response. I like to think that if you're in a plane flying over them, it looks like a treasure map, and they're just marking the spots where the gold is. Growing up, I loved to play some board games. I loved the game Monopoly, but it gave me unrealistic life goals. I thought all I had to do when I grew up was to buy 4 houses, and then I could live in a hotel. I blamed the game Clue for making me look at random things laying around my house, thinking they could be turned into violent murder weapons. I blamed the game Sorry for making all of my apologies as an adult sound sarcastic and not genuine. And finally, I blamed the game Guess Who for making me sound super judgmental whenever I describe what someone looks like from the neck up. Things were scarier when I was a kid, though. Now, whenever I say Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror, I black out, wake up, and I'm at brunch with all my gay friends. I had a really good childhood because I had parents that loved me. Yeah, it wasn't a normal childhood, though, I wouldn't say. It's not normal unless there's someone else here who had a dad that used to dress up as 1960s Adam West Batman. Go to conventions, bring his family, and call them vacations. No one else here had that dad? Great. As a kid, I really wanted to be Batman. And I thought it was a valid, obtainable goal, because so did my dad. My dad tried to buy a 60s Batmobile without my mom knowing. That's the first time I heard the word divorce. Of course, as a kid, I sided with my dad. I was like, come on, Mom, whoa, why isn't the Batmobile a reliable mode of transportation? I recently got married, so now I understand why you have to talk to your wife about buying the Batmobile. I didn't know how often I was wrong about things until I got married. I should probably say the best thing about being married is the marriage. But I just think that's a close second to never having to go on a first date again. Yeah. My wife and I, we get along, we have a great time, there's nothing wrong there. But I did learn something very early on, and that's I'm never going to ask her where she wants to go for dinner. Because we can never decide, we always get upset with each other. I'm just not going to do it. What I've started doing is when I get home, I go up to her and I ask, hey, guess where I'm going to take you to dinner tonight? And whatever she says, that's where we go. I'm like, that was a good guess, honey. Here's something that your wife or girlfriend might not be in the mood for on any particular day. Your sarcasm, your bullshit, action movies, sex with you, explaining if she really is fine when she says, I'm fine. Here's something that your wife or girlfriend will always be in the mood for today and every day. Tacos. My wife loves Mexican food. I think Mexican food to most women is what sex is to men. We'll have it wherever, whenever, and even if it's not that good, it's better than no taco at all. My wife wants me to get as excited about Mexican food as she is. So she'll come up to me and she'll be like, do you want fajitas for dinner tonight? I feel like I have to enthusiastically respond, fajita, yeah! But we do have our differences, because she'll also come up to me and say that she wants avocado on her Mexican food. So she'll say, do you want avocado? And I'll be like, avocado, no. I do not like avocado. I will not get excited for avocado. So to recap, fajita, yeah, avocado, no. My wife and I, we have some differences even when we say the same thing. So if she says, I'm going to do a marathon, that means she's going to run a 5K to stay in shape and remain healthy. When I say, I'm going to do a marathon, that means I'm not going to leave the house, watch all the Star Wars movies in one day, so I can remain a nerd and regurgitate facts about intergalactic fictional warfare. I love my wife. I'm lucky that she loves me too. I'm lucky to have her because before we met, I'm pretty sure the two things she loved the most were tacos and cats. So it's a three-way tie now, and it will remain a three-way tie unless someone creates and then teaches a cat how to make tacos and brings them to my wife. As long as Taco Kitty is never invented, I'll be good. I'm getting older, but I don't know if I'm getting smarter. I'm on an all-shake diet. It has nothing to do with liquids or smoothies. It's just if I realize I haven't moved in a while, I convulse and shimmy and hope that the shaking takes off a couple pounds. I don't know how smart I am because I won't go into stores that are marked wine and spirits because I'm afraid they might be haunted. And I don't need a ghost helping me pick out Pinot Noir. I buy my wine the way that some people bet on racehorses. The criteria, what does it look like, what's its name, and is it under $10? I think most of us here have smartphones, which are like tiny computers in our pockets, but I still get into the habit of writing some of my thoughts down on napkins. So right now, I would like to do something that I like to call napkin thoughts. First one. There are some words that are spelled the same, but that mean different things and have different pronunciations. Like Polish and polish. I'm not sure when I'm supposed to use which one. For instance, if I say, I really want a polished sausage. There may be some guys that become way more interested in me than I want them to be. If only gay men played football, I think sacking the quarterback would be way different. On a day-by-day basis, I have to remind myself that a thesaurus is not a dinosaur. When news reporters have sex, do they say, "This just in"? 666 is the sign of the devil, but 8675309 is the sign of a good time with Jenny. It's a little known fact, but the Metallica song, Master of Puppets, is about Jim Henson. Pretty good at reading people, and good at reading people, unless they're Chinese. I can't read Chinese. I hate racial slurs. If you're gonna be mean, you should at least enunciate. Only racist people take white power naps. In the year 2020, we should all have fantastic vision. I bet the first time that someone said, "You can't bring outside food and drink in here," the picnic was created. The expression, "the apple doesn't fall far from the tree," well, that's super wrong if you put dynamite at the base of that apple tree. The worst time to get writer's block is while writing a ransom letter. I think restroom is inappropriately named. There's no resting going on in there. When I'm in there, I'm getting shit done. Everyone has seen the "all employees must wash hands" sign. I think it's a bit ridiculous. I went to Walmart the other day and I spent 2 hours in their bathroom. 5 minutes to do my business, and then it took me an hour and 55 minutes to round up all of the employees to come in and wash my hands. I watch reality television shows and I think to myself, wow, this is unreal. Why do we pack away Christmas candles and not use them all year round? Are we worried that if we light them, some people will think, "Oh shit, it's December again"? And my final napkin thought, I know I'm not a cool person because whenever I hear people talking and they say, "Wow, that DJ was really great," I assume they're talking about Full House. I do know I'm getting older, even if I'm not getting smarter. Mainly because the way I buy my shoes. I'm no longer looking for the cool new pair. When I try on a pair of shoes, I look down and think, man, these are comfy. And then I buy 8 more of the exact same pair, so I don't have to go shoe shopping for 10 years. Everyone wants to work from home. I worked from home for a year, and I thought it was cool at first, but then I started to go crazy. And then I started resenting people who wore pants. Before that, I was a server, and on our tables we would have drink menus, and the drink menus would have suggested food pairings with whatever you were drinking. So if you're having a whiskey on the rocks, they would suggest maybe you would like a prime rib to go with it. Drinking white Zinfandel, get the salmon. But the thing that these drink menus didn't do, they didn't tell you how many drinks you were going to be having. Chugging half a bottle of tequila, well, may we suggest Taco Bell? Polishing off a 6-pack of Tall Boy Natty Lights, Perhaps you would like a crave case of White Castle to go with it. I think a good drinking game would be to get two people to compete and see who knows more lyrics to the Billy Joel song, "We Didn't Start the Fire." The first time, actually, that I was in a brewery, I came in and I went up to the bar, and the woman asked me, "Would you like a flight of beers?" Which is a perfectly reasonable question to ask at a brewery. That's not what I heard. What I heard was, "Would you like to fight a bear?" I thought about it, and in a confused manner, I replied, "No, thank you." She said, "Great," took my order, and I went back to my table with my beer. And while I had my beer, I sat there contemplating, like, why would they ask me if I'd want to fight a bear? The only logical explanation I could come up with was, they must ask everyone who comes up to the bar, "Would you like to fight a bear?" So you come up, they say, "Would you like to fight a bear?" And if you say, "No," they say, "Great," and they give you a beer and they serve you. If you come up to the bar and they say, "Would you like to fight a bear?" and you go, "Oh, hell yeah, I'll fight that bear, where is he?" You're drunk and you are not getting served. You just agreed to fight a bear. Go home, call an Uber. When I first started doing stand-up, I did a lot of celebrity impressions. But they were celebrity impressions that comedians have been doing for like the last 20 years. Impressions like Sean Connery dramatically reading his favorite 80s song, Safety Dance. You can dance if you want to. Or you can leave your friends behind. Because if your friends won't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they ain't no friends of mine. Or Sylvester Stallone doing his favorite 80s song, Mickey, obviously. "Oh, hey Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Mickey, what a pity, you don't understand. You take me by the heart when you take me by the hand. Hey Mickey." This is an impression I've been working on that I don't think anybody else does. This is my impression of a penguin looking for his wallet. Thank you guys so much. Oh, it's awesome. This is the first stop on our Brew Crew comedy tour. You guys are the first audience to see us. Keep it going for Darkness Brewery for hosting us. They've got a lot of great things going on during the week. They have Paint and Pint, where you can come in here, have some drinks, do some painting. They have trivia on Wednesday nights. And in a couple months, they're going to be hosting a regular weekend comedy show in the back room. And they're going to call it the Laughing Glass Theater. With all that out of the way, are you guys ready for your next comic? I said, are you ready for your next